ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुक्तकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं त्वं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुवेव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। So welcome everyone to our weekly IBC Siksha of Bhagavad Gita. We are reading chapter 13. We had stopped at text number 8 to 12. Can you hear me and see my screen?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Yes,
So
Prabhuji.
yeah. So in this chapter, Arjuna is asking about jnana. Jnana means to know about Prakriti, Purusha, and Prakriti, Purusha, and the knower of the field, and including the field and the knowledge and object of knowledge. So Krishna is explaining all these things, in which he is explaining now the knowledge and what is the object of knowledge. So in this regards, he says humility, pridelessness, so non-violence, tolerance, simplicity, approaching a bona fide spiritual master, cleanliness, steadiness, self-control, renunciation of objects of sense gratification, absence of false ego, perception of evil of birth, death, old age, and disease, detachment, freedom from entanglement with children, wife, home, and rest, even-mindedness in pleasant and unpleasant events, constant and unalloyed devotion to me, aspiring to live in solitary place, detachment from the general mass of the people, accepting the importance of self-realization and philosophical search for the absolute truth. All this I declare to be knowledge, and besides this, whatever they may be is ignorance. So, Krishna defines what is knowledge. Um, and according to him, these all points he defines as knowledge. Interestingly, it doesn't specify physics, chemistry, mathematics, finance, Ayurveda, medical, astronomy, astrology, none of those subjects. So, what is that knowledge then? That knowledge is material knowledge, and this knowledge is knowledge which will help us to grow spiritually, dharmic knowledge. So, last time we were going through this table, we'll go again with this table. Humility. So, first, this knowledge is starts with humility. Humility means not to be anxious to have the satisfaction of being honored by others. Meaning, everyone is anxious. I want respect. If I don't get respect, I'll be angry. But in spiritual life, this expecting respect is not a great quality. Okay, in material life, it may be. In material life, we may be boss, we may be parents, we may be teachers. So if subordinates don't listen, then we have to tell them to give us respect. But that is needed over there. The teacher has to train the children to give the teacher the first respect. So the teacher has to do that. The parents have to say. But in case of spiritual life, humility comes first, where one doesn't go and tell that, oh, I am a senior devotee, so you need to respect me. That It doesn't happen. So what happens is, it happens only in the case of this, there is some service to be done, if there is some management chain or something, that is the time, one can ask for respect. But in general, when it is not for any service, when it is just that, we are practicing devotional service, chanting sadhana, then we should not be anxious to be honored. Then we should not be anxious to be like, okay, I'm walking now, give me respect. That quality should not be there. Humility should be there. Hmm? So you understand the difference where to be humble and where the humility is not required. Do you understand this difference? Yes or no? I'm not able to hear. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So my question is, do you understand where to use humility, where to not be humble?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Okay. So pridelessness. Again, prideless is also not to be anxious to be famous for one's religion and entering into a group, not actually following principles and wanting to be adverse in religious mentor. So to show off, I am this religious, I am this tapasvi, I am so much of knowledgeable. That is not to be done in devotional life. But where should we say, okay, I have this many qualifications and all that? When? Can you tell me when to show this pride? Or let's say when to show that, I'm of this qualification. Can you give me examples?
When we apply for some job or something interview
Yes.
resume.
When there is a opportunity for service, when there is like, in jobs and all that, that is material side. But even in spiritual side, let's say if there's a service to do cooking, right? So so a devotee at that point should be able to tell whether he can cook or not, right? He should not say, oh, I am prideless. I should not even say that whether I don't know cooking. That is not expected. Pridelessness means not to boast oneself. I'm the best cook around. No, I know cooking and I can do cooking. That's a simple way to do it. Or if someone else is there and that person may be junior to you in age, but that person may be, given the charge of the kitchen, and he may tell you cut chilies, then we should be ready to cut. We should not say, oh, what chilies you're talking me, huh? I cook for 20 people every day. That is not, pride should not be shown unless asked. So in this regard, there's a very nice pastime in Ramayana where Lord Ram had to build the bridge over the sea. At that point, they didn't knew how to do it. So they started looking for engineers in the army of monkeys. And there were these two brothers. I don't exactly remember the name, maybe Neela. Um, they were known as the engineers. So when they were asked that, are you engineers? That is the only time they said yes. And then they were given the task to do engineering of the bridge. And then Hanuman would listen to them and they would say, Hanuman, get a rock which is of this much size and this much length and this much weight. Get a rock from this mountain, get a rock 5 miles away like this. And then Hanuman didn't say to him, what you are telling me, I can do 100 things. I'm senior to you. No. At that point, Hanuman said, you are the senior, I am the junior. So I will follow whatever you say. So that is called pridelessness. We talked about non-violence. Non-violence, people generally take as no violence. But it has two meanings. One is necessary violence. Some violence is necessary in this world. Why? Suppose there are these evil people around, right? They force on the weak. So to protect the weak from the evil, the strong people should show deadly violence, deadly force. And the police should not say, "Oh, okay, okay, I am Gandhi's follower, so no violence." Let that person be, uh, you know, um, what, uh, be punished, or be put in distress. I don't mind it. No, if someone is unlawfully put under problems, unlawfully, somebody is forcing somebody, then the policeman should stand for it, should protect, and to protect he should fight, and that is where the necessary violence comes, right? And another meaning is not to put others into distress. So non-violence means necessary violence to put the evil into distress, but the innocent should not be put into distress. Okay. And one of the distress is to one of the distress that Prabhupada talks is to think that we living in this material world is a very nice place, and being not aware of the difficulties in the material world. So people are in distress in this material world, right? When they get to spiritual knowledge, then they will come out of this distress, right? So if one doesn't give them spiritual knowledge, that is also violence, because that is allowing the person to be in distress for long. So that's why we should distribute real knowledge, and that's how we will practice non-violence, and we will remove the distress of the people. Okay. Then tolerance. Prabhupada gave the example of Prahlad Maharaj. He was 5-year-old boy who was tortured by his father. Can you imagine a child being tortured by their parents? What, how unbearable it is. But Prahlad Maharaj was able to be tolerant, and he gave the best instructions at that point to his father, right? So one should bear insult and dishonor from just like Prahlad Maharaj. And there was last time a question. Just hold on. Okay. So tolerance means to bear insults and dishonor, and then continue in one's devotional service. But if the insult is on the devotee and the dishonor is on the devotee, one should not tolerate that. If some other devotee is getting insulted or dishonored, that should not be tolerated. One's own insult and dishonor is tolerable, but others is not tolerable. That is one thing. Second thing is, within our own insult and dishonor, one should tolerate only to the extent that one can tolerate. Like for Prahlad Maharaj, he was so dependent on the Supreme Lord that he was able to tolerate uh, death and insults and terrible punishments. But when the same thing comes on us, we should tolerate to the extent that we can. Not like Prahlad Maharaj, like Prahlad Maharaj was, he was okay to be killed. But in our case, we should protect ourselves. The reason is Prahlad Maharaj is a pure devotee, and we are not as pure as Prahlad Maharaj. Okay, he's very advanced devotee. So we should tolerate to the extent that we are qualified. You understand this point? Any question on this? Any question, comment? No?
Civil Prabhuji.
Sorry?
Like you told, we have to tolerate only to the extent we can bear.
Yeah.
So, but what if the tolerance level is very low, Prabhuji? Like,
Okay. Hmm.
how to handle? Like, is it okay to show? Is it like where to till where we can consider, and from where we have
Extent
to?
possible.
Okay, okay, okay. Good point. See, something we discussed last time also. We will talk about it. Like, tolerate, all these qualities, right, that we are talking here. Okay, we have to do it according to our qualification. But at the same time, we are getting trained in Krishna consciousness, right? We are getting inspiration
Yes,
from pure
Prabhuji.
souls. We are chanting Hare Krishna, we are reading Bhagavatam, we are doing some seva, sadachar, and sadhana, right? So this will increase our tolerance. Okay, this all should increase our tolerance. So at at the starting point, neophyte level, our tolerance will be less. But as we increase our devotion to Krishna, our tolerance will increase. That's why the example is given of the ideal. The ideal is Prahlad Maharaj, because his devotion was pure devotion, and he bore that insult and dishonor to the extent that he was ready to be killed. Okay, I'll give you example of Draupadi. She was also insulted, like, and dishonored. Agreed? Yes or no?
Yes.
What she did? What
She
is the,
prayed to Krishna.
that is the last thing she did. What is the first thing she did? What is the first thing she did?
She tolerated.
No, she didn't tolerate it. She
No.
protested,
Okay.
right? She protested against injustice. Now she's a devotee, right? She's a pure devotee. So see, what she's doing. Now compared to Prahlad Maharaj never protested, but Draupadi
Mm.
protested. Agreed? She asked
Correct.
questions, and the Dhritarashtra couldn't answer, Bhishma couldn't answer, Vidura answered, Yudhishthir Maharaj couldn't answer, right?
Mm.
She went to get protection from all the great assembled people who were
Yeah.
leaders at that point, right? Then at the last, she used her own strength to hold on to the sari, right?
Yeah.
When nothing of this worked, then she called Krishna. Okay, so we have to
Yes.
learn from Draupadi. Even though she is a pure devotee, even though she is a pure devotee, um, the way she handled the insult and dishonor is is an example to be learned from. Yeah,
Mm.
got it.
Yes.
So we have to use all of this, and we have to depend on Krishna in the times when we are insulted and dishonored. Okay,
Mm.
we have to ask questions, we have to protest. At the same time, we have to depend on Krishna. Now, does that help?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. So if we are Prahlad Maharaj, we know what we will do. But when we are not Prahlad Maharaj, then we have Draupadi's example to follow. And for almost 99% of the devotees, it will be Draupadi's example to be followed. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. So even though Prabhupada gives the example of Prahlad Maharaj, that happens only when we are pure devotee. And Draupadi became like Prahlad Maharaj at the very last moment. Agreed? But
Mm.
before that, she used all her intelligence, all her strength. Agreed?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's how. See, all these qualities we have to do it like that only. Okay. Humility. I was talking about humility. This is a very important topic. Like in the material world, when we are doing material job, then humility is to be balanced. It cannot be, like one cannot be humble, and be the boss. If he has the boss, then he has to be showing some anger. Like, we say Yamraj is pure devotee, right?
Mm.
Right? But if Yamraj was to walk in front of us, how we would see Yamraj? This is how Yamraj is described in the Shastras. He is red with anger, yet he is a pure devotee. Now, can you identify Yamaraj if he comes in front of you? Because he'll be red with
Yes.
anger. You will see such an angry person like Yamaraj,
Who
judging
will
everyone.
want Emeralds to come in front of us, Prabhuji?
No, no, he's a pure devotee, na.
Uh,
What I'm saying is he's a pure devotee, but he's red with anger. So a pure
mm.
devotee is humble. Then how come Yamaraj is humble? So
Mm.
Yamaraj is humble in front of devotees, but he's red in anger in front of demons and non-devotees. So that is the
Oh,
difference. Now you get the answer.
yes.
Yeah. So
Uh,
when the so the
Prabhu,
so yeah.
Prabhuji, like, sorry, Prabhuji, to interrupt. So even we should be like Emerald, we should be like behaving like Emerald Prabhu. I'm getting confused. So like in front of devotees, we have to be humble. In front of non-devotees, we should like accordingly we have to act or
Okay. So why Yamraj has to be in anger in front of demons and non-devotees? Why?
because they have committed so many sins.
No, but
So
anybody coming in front of demons and non-devotees should get angry. Why Yamraj specifically?
maybe that is his quality because
Is
he's
this his
a dead
quality? Is this his
person.
quality or what is it? There's much more than quality.
His job is to take the life.
Yeah, his job is like that. His job is to show anger to the demons and non-devotees. Then only he can put them into hell.
Mm.
So, what
Okay.
is our job? What is our role? That decides how much humility to show and how much pridelessness, how much tolerance to show. See, if our job is said to be purchaser of say vegetables etc grains for a temple or for house, and let's say the vendor, the shopkeeper, he cheats or delays, what are you going to do? How are you going to respond?
We'll shout at him.
We'll get angry, Prabhuji, because he's cheating.
Yeah, that's the point. Then where is the humility? Did we lose humility there, or still can we be humble?
Because it depends how the other person behaves with us. So based
Okay,
on that,
okay, okay. So the point is we are angry on that particular incident and not on the character or judging the person. Okay, this is very
Correct.
important. What we are angry with, we are angry for that bad behavior. We are not angry over the person as the bad person, right? We are
Yes,
not
correct.
going to generalize him. We are not going to we are not going to um, blame him completely like you are the worst person. No, this incident you made it wrong, so I am angry with you, but only for that incident. So humbleness is controlling anger. Okay, so how will be humble in that anger? We'll be able to control that anger. Getting? So if it is uncontrolled anger, then it is bad. But if it is a controlled anger, then it is still humility. Then it is still tolerance. Agreed?
Yes.
So that's how we have to show the limits. So how, we can be humble while being angry. How? If we control that anger. And if we only are specific over that incident, not judging the character or judging the person and generalizing that you are the baddest person in the whole world. No, only for that reason. Like take Lord Ram, he got angry on Ravana, right? And he challenged him, he defeated him, and he killed him finally. Agreed? But after killing Ravana, what did Ram do? Can you tell me what did Ram do after killing Ravana?
He made arrangements for last rites.
Yeah. And who didn't agree for doing those last rites?
Vibhishan.
But Ram is telling, and whose wife was kidnapped?
Ram's
Yeah,
wife.
Ravana.
Rams.
But
Ram's wife.
Vibhishan was saying, I don't want to do this last rite. And he was showing anger even after death. And Ram had given up anger after killing Ravana. So who is humble? Lord Ram
Ram.
is humble. And
Yes.
seeing this humility of humbleness of Ram, Vibhishan gave up his anger. Now you understand?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, we'll go further. These are very deep topics, but it's fine. Simplicity. Simplicity means straightforwardness, even to the extent that we will disclose to our enemy. Again, to our qualification, we have to follow this principle. See, we have to use diplomacy. This says without diplomacy, but we have to still use diplomacy. Where? The the answer lies in the situation, context. So simplicity means without duplicity. Okay. Do you know about Rupa Goswami? Had you heard about Rupa Goswami and
Yes.
Sanatan Goswami?
Yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
They are the highest acharyas in our disciplic succession, right?
Yes.
Now, they showed simplicity by duplicity. How? Okay, first they showed simplicity. When they were in front of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they came as beggars. Very, tattered clothes and grass in their mouth. That's how they were so simple. We say na Trinadapi Sunijana. That's how they were so simple. In their mouth they had grass in front of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when they met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Later on, they were arrested. That is the time they showed duplicity.
Why they were arrested, Prabhuji?
Because they were Prime Minister and Finance Minister of Nizam, and after meeting Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they started holding Bhagavad Gita classes and Bhagavatam classes at their home, and they neglected their duties of Finance Minister and Prime Minister. So they were
Oh.
not coming to the Nizam and administrating. And they were telling, we are sick, we are sick. But then one day Nizam came and he saw that actually they were not sick, but they were discussing Bhagavatam. So he became
Hmm.
angry and he got them arrested.
Oh.
So when they were arrested, they talked very duplicit to the jailer. They told the jailer, you are a Muslim, you are like a mullah, you are a great person, you should go to Mecca and I will give you money. And they gave him some money, I think. And duplicitly they ran away,
Hmm.
escaped. Now these are the greatest acharya, but they showed simplicity also and they showed duplicity also. But whereas Prabhupada is saying it is without diplomacy, then how to reconcile both? Can you tell me the answer? How to reconcile? How both things can work?
Based on time, circumstances, situation, based on
Yes, context, circumstance. What is that?
Circumstance.
Circumstance. Time, place, and
Circumstance.
circumstance. Okay. We have to be simplicity and duplicity. Hmm? So for devotional service, we have to be always be simple. But when we are dealing with material energy, material people, then we have to be duplicate. See, Jiva Goswami was very simple person, right? You have heard about Jiva Goswami? He is
Yes.
the nephew of Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, the great Acharya. He was very, very simple devotee, very, very simple Acharya. But you know what he did? When he made he made land legal documents of Radhakund. Can you imagine? If he was so simple, why he was so much into legal documents of Radhakund? Can you give me answer why? Why he had to take diplomacy at that point?
No idea, Prabhuji.
It's very simple. See, we are building new temple, right?
Hmm.
We are making legal documents. Why? Why we are taking help of diplomacy?
So
Diplomacy.
it won't in future land up in problem.
Yes. See, we are surrounded by evil people. Unless we make things legal, these evil people they cannot touch us, right? So
Correct.
Jiva Goswami could see the future and he made legal documents of Radhakund so that Radhakund remains with the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Similarly, we also make legal documents about temple so that tomorrow, day after tomorrow, the government should not take away the land, the people around it should not had of it, right?
Hmm.
So we have to understand where to be diplomacy and where to be simple. When we are inviting people to our temple, will be simple or will be duplicate? When
will
it
be
comes,
simple.
sorry.
Simple. Will be simple.
Will
Mean
be
there.
simple.
Yes, will be simple because that time we are doing for devotional service. When we are doing legal documents, will be simple or will be duplicate? Will be duplicate.
Duplicate.
Why? Actually, I'll tell you. There was one person who came and he said that take this land in Chanasandra, and he was very eager to give the land. Then later, the temple president, our temple president, he took help of a advocate, and they found out that the land that he was giving is going to go under a canal. Can you imagine our temple built on a canal?
You.
So
Very
that
bad.
person didn't tell. Now that is where the diplomacy helped, right? So again, coming back to the point, we have to be simple in devotional service, in devotional dealings, and diplomacy with the material people. Agreed? Does this help?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, good. Now, now the important most point is accepting a spiritual master. Now this knowledge is for what? Spiritual advancement. Okay, but we have to understand from material perspective also, because it can be sometimes confusing. We may get this Prahlad Maharaj example and we will get confused. Oh, I have to be Prahlad Maharaj or something. No diplomacy, then it gets confused. No, this is for spiritual practice. So for spiritual practice, we have to be humble, we have to be simple, we have to accept a spiritual master with all humility, offer respects, and offer services to the spiritual master. Then only we can get spiritual knowledge. Okay, cleanliness, bathing. We have to take bath. A Brahmana takes bath 3 times a day actually, from the Vedic perspective, from the Vedic teachings. And Vaishnavas, those who are not Brahmanas, they take bath once a day, and they take bath whenever they go to passing stool. After that, they take bath. Okay. Then how to do? We clean from internal chanting. We all chant, right? Hare Krishna Mahamantra. What is chanting doing? It is cleaning our heart. What is the dirt on our heart? What kinds of dirt is there in our heart?
All
Cholesterol?
the anarthas,
Cholesterol?
Material
anarthas, lust,
contamination.
greed, anger, envy, jealousy,
Yeah.
anarthas.
Greed,
Kama, krodha,
lust,
lobha,
anger.
moha.
Main things: greed, lust, anger. So chanting removes greed, lust, anger. Okay. Next, steadiness. We have to be determined to make spiritual progress in spiritual life. Steadiness. There are difficulties, keep ups and downs, family members objecting, neighbors objecting, job objecting, sometimes health is up and down. We have to still continue somehow or the other our spiritual life to the best of our ability. Self control. Reject anything unfavorable to spiritual advancement. um, Unfavorable to spiritual advancement, like um, suppose a devotee is getting a job, and that job is very hectic, then it becomes unfavorable spiritual advancement, because he doesn't have to do such a hectic job also, right? So then he should reject it, like that. And then self control also means, when sense gratification is there, um in sense of, like, very opulent food, association of opposite sex, too much close association, then also he should be very controlled in his behavior. Just like Hanuman, he could see, beautiful women in the palace of Ravana, but he didn't approach them. He was looking for Sita, so he was very self controlled. Okay. Renunciation of sense objects. Renunciation of sense objects. See, sense objects are, eating. Let's say eating is needed for our senses, right? Yes or no?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So let's take some senses, and let's take sense objects. Eyes. What is the sense object for the eyes?
To see beautiful things,
Beautiful things, right? Beauty.
Yeah.
Ears,
hearing
nice
very
music.
melodious
Music,
Yeah,
nice
music.
nice
music.
music, whatever. Tongue,
Tongue, tasty food.
Taste good food.
tasty food. Yes.
Tasty food.
Touch, soft, right?
Yeah, soft objects.
Soft, cooling, and what more? Eyes, ears, nose, nose. Smell, beautiful. Now, what is Prabhupada saying? Renunciation, give it up. So have we to give up beautiful things? Yes or no?
We must offer it to Lord Prabhuji.
Okay. Anything more?
Seeing Lord's beauty.
Yeah. So we should replace. So two things like you said, offer to Krishna or replace it. Good. So that is the principle of renunciation. Either you try to see offer to Krishna or you look for replacement. See, this is how we need to work. So eyes, beautiful. But if that beauty is taking us away from Krishna, then replace it. Music, Bollywood music, replace it with devotional
Kirtans,
music.
devotional music.
Beautiful actors, actresses, models, replace with Krishna's deities. Right? Tongue, tasty food, replace it with
Prasadam.
prasada.
Prasadam.
Yeah, this is everybody likes it, you know. Touch the deity instead. Touch devotees. Nose, flower offered to the Lord. Okay, so this is how we have to replace or we have to offer to Krishna. Getting?
Okay.
Yeah. So this is what it means to renounce. Renounce means doesn't mean give up. If we give up eating, then it's not possible to live, right? So we have to eat prasada. Okay. Absence of false ego. False ego. What is ego? Ego means identity. What is false in it? That identity which is not true. What is that identity which is not true? I am this body. I am Mr. So and so. So that identity, we should know that it is not our eternal identity. It is our temporary identity, which we have to use it for all legal purposes. See, for all legal purposes, we have to tell our legal name, Mr. Ramesh Sharma. We cannot say to the legal office, I am no more Mr. Ramesh Sharma. I am so and so Das. That time we should use our legal name. But when it comes to temple services, I am no more Mr. Sharma. I am Dasanu Das. I am servant of the servant. Okay. For devotional service, we have to understand that we are servant of Krishna. Okay. Perception of evils of birth, death, old age, and disease. We should know that we should be regularly hearing about these topics. Death, disease, old age, COVID news. If it comes to us, we should know. Okay, so much of disease and death is there. Old age people. What is the constant talk of old people?
I am not able to do this. I'm not able to do that.
And the second thing, what they will tell.
About their past, Prabhuji, most of
Okay,
the
okay,
time.
past, yes. And one more thing that they will talk every other hour.
About their health.
Health. This medicine is not working, that medicine is working, etc., etc. No, that doctor is not good, this doctor.
I have got this problem now. I've got this
Ah.
problem.
But this is all true things. They are not bluffing. The body is like that.
Mm.
Okay. So when we see such things, then we should be eager in our devotional service. Right?
Mm.
Okay. So detachment. Be ready to sacrifice everything for Krishna. In this regard, there's a very nice story of Kailash. I must have told this story. So Kailash was a devotee who was being followed up by Narad Muni. So he was listening to Narad Muni, and Narad Muni is always telling him, take to devotional service, take to Krishna consciousness. And Kailash was saying, wait, Narad Muni, wait, my child is so small. Let that child go to school and become big, and then I will take. After sometimes he comes, and then Kailash is kind of little bit old, and he says, now at least take. Now he's done in, his engineering, his medical, he's doing his shop, he's doing his job. Then Kailash said, no, Narad Muni, my son, he doesn't understand how this world works. I have to teach him everything. Huh? After some time, Narad Muni comes and he sees there is no more Kailash. Then he asks, the son, where is Kailash? He says, Kailash died. Narad Muni becomes dejected. Oh, what is Kailash? He should have listened. Huh? Then while going, he hears something from the bush. Hey, Narad Muni, here I am. I am the same Kailash. Narad Muni looks and says, huh? He sees a snake. And that snake talks and he says, I am Kailash, I am Kailash. And then Narad Muni says, what? You became a snake? Yes, I become a snake and I am protecting my property. These children, they are very, very useless. I am now snake, so that is good for me. I am protecting my property. Narad Muni got angry and he went to the sons and said, there is a snake in your garden. And the sons came out with dandas and they hit the snake and the snake ran away. So we should not become like Kailash. We should be ready to sacrifice everything for Krishna at the appropriate time, to our ability, to our best of our ability, and not be attached to this material world. Okay, behind our heart we should know that we should be sacrificing for Krishna. We should sacrifice our belongings. So in case of donation, what is the formula for donation? How to do charity? Charity or donation
According to
formula?
the time, place,
Yes, time, place, circumstance, yes. And
Deshakale, Deshakale.
and yeah, and what, and according to
Our ability, strength.
our ability, strength, yes. And
And to the person also, Prabhu.
yes, qualification of the receiver. Is Brahmana or not? Best is Brahmana. But if a poor person is there, then we should not give him money but prasadam, because the poor person may go to some liquor shop and then buy something. So prasadam is best for him. And what is the formula? At most 50% of income. This was followed by Rupa Goswami. So when he ran away, he escaped. 50% he gave to the Brahmanas and 50% he kept for emergencies with his family members and all that. So that is the rule. This is the formula. 50%. Okay. Now I have used the word at most. What does at most means? There is
Maximum.
at least and there is at most.
Maximum.
Yes, maximum. So if I say at least to at most, if I to say like this, then at least we should start from 1%.
Minimum.
Yes, maximum is 50%.
50%.
50%.
So this is the formula. Now this is when we are living, Now when we are dying, does this formula apply?
Without our this thing only,
100% Prabhuji then.
we are leaving and going. We have to leave and go.
100% then it is.
Yes. So when we are living, then it is 1 to 50%. But when we are dying, then we should, then also, we can use this formula 50% for the family and all that we can use. But at that point, we should know that, how to do this dying, 100% giving to Krishna. There should be something that we should be giving 100%. And some things we should leave for a family also. Okay? Does this understand?
Yes, Prabhuji.
See, sometimes devotees will give 100% while living also, but they have that much of faith that they can give 100%. But if we don't have that faith and if we have some other understanding, then we should use Rupa Goswami's formula. And while dying, then we should give the most that we can give. See, in this regard, there is a very nice story from Mahabharata, and he was the son of Bhima. What was the name of son of Bhima?
Ghatotkacha, Prabhuji.
Yeah. You know, when he was dying, he increased his body size. You know, while dying only. Why?
So that Yama cannot lift him.
No.
Mm.
And he fell on the enemy soldiers. Now you tell me why he increased his body size.
To scare the enemy.
No. Say his
So
body
that at
size was,
least
say,
while
let's say,
dying,
80 feet. And while dying, he became 200 feet.
Are Bapre.
Let's say, I'm just giving example. I don't know exact, no? Now, let's say if a 80 feet body falls on the enemy soldiers, how many would die?
All will die.
Not all. 80 feet.
maybe 50%, 60%.
Okay, let's say 50. Now, if a 200 feet body falls on the enemy soldier, now how many will die?
100%.
100%. You have to give me a number. At least
120.
150 will die, right?
On whoever he falls.
Huh. On enemy soldiers, he is going to fall. If he is of the size of 80 feet, he may kill maximum 50. But he increases his body to 200 feet. How many he will kill? More, right?
More.
All the enemies on whom he is falling.
That's fine. That will happen even when he is 80 feet.
80 feet. Yeah.
But why he increased his body size while dying?
So that he can kill more enemies.
Yeah.
And more
So even while
soldiers.
dying, he could kill more. That was his thought process.
Bapre, what a thought.
Even while dying, I won't die like this. I will kill more people in my death also. So he increased his size, and luckily he was son of Bhima and Krishna's side. So he killed the enemy soldiers, maximum destruction even while dying.
Hmm.
So we should take help of Gotokach, and we should understand how we should die.
Are Bapre.
Okay. So we should see it even while dying how we can increase our charity to Krishna. Interesting, right?
Correct.
Okay,
Prabhuji.
okay, okay. So no entanglement with wife and children means what? Entanglement. Last time we were discussing this thing. Meaning, wife and children should not be stopping us from Krishna consciousness. They should be either helping us or they should be neutral, but not stopping us. If they stop us, then it is entanglement. It is like a chain. So they should not be a chain. Okay. So affection to them should be natural. Okay, affection to wife and children should be natural.
Natural.
But at the same time, we should know that we have to use them in Krishna's service. And we should know that these are my temporary wife and temporary children. They are not my eternal husband, eternal wife, and eternal children. Agreed? They are
Yes.
Krishna's eternal children. They are Krishna's eternal part and parcel. I have to give them back to Krishna. That is the understanding. When that understanding comes, then there is no entanglement. And if they are entangling, then we should give them up. That is also one thing. Then even mindedness means if there is any material loss or gain, then we should not be carried away by that. We should be even minded. Little bit happiness, little bit sadness, not too much. Okay. It should not be like India Pakistan match, cricket match, like people get carried away in that match. In 2011, India won the World Cup, right?
Mm.
How many people got benefited out of it? Give me a
Only
number.
the cricketers.
Huh? How many?
Cricketers got benefited.
How many cricketers?
All those who played.
Okay, 11 or 20 people, whatever. The corporations and all that. So maximum, let's say only 1,000 people got benefited. But the whole of India was shouting, we won, we won, we won. Who won? Only 11 people win. But why whole of India was shouting? So we should not get carried away by that. Okay, we should be even-mindedness. Understand?
Yes.
Okay, unalloyed devotion. So this is a quality which differentiates a bhakta from a jnani. A jnani may have all other qualities. The bhakta is the only one who will have this quality. What? He will be devotee of Krishna. He will engage in the 9 processes of bhakti, starting with Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Dasyam, Vandanam, Sakhyam, and like that. There are 9 processes which Prahlad Maharaj says. A devotee will be doing that. A jnani, he may not do all this. Okay, he may do other things, but not this. But a devotee will do this. Okay, aspiring to live in a solitary place. Solitary place means a place where materialistic people are not there, where there is
Yes.
association of devotees. So sometimes this is seen in the holy places, right? And within holy places also, today's holy places are contaminated by materialistic aspirations, right? So that also we should avoid. Detachment from general mass. See, general people are what materialistic, na? So we should be detached from them. But does this detachment means that, oh, I have to do job with them, so I will not go and meet them? If a devotee is doing sales job, marketing job, he has to go to the general masses, right? Yes or no?
Yes,
Yes.
Prabhuji.
So then how can he be detached at the same time? Now you are a woman here, right? You have to go to buy vegetables. Some of you may be working. How to be detached at the same time? Tell me.
We can only talk on the superficial level, Prabhuji, get our work done and then
Yeah,
do our own devotional service.
only what is needed. Needful talk. Then what talk we should avoid?
Prajalpa.
Good.
Gossip.
Prajalpa is good. Prajalpa is useless talking. Anything more?
Even devotional thing, we should not talk with them because they don't have faith. I mean, if they don't
Okay,
believe
okay.
in.
Yes, yes, yes. Anything more? See,
Prabhu
what
talks
talks?
about mundane subjects.
Yeah, that's fine. Prajalpa comes under that. See, what talk can affect us? I'll tell you. Take help of uh, nectar of devotion. Sorry, nectar of instruction. What talks they bring people closer that we should avoid with the general masses? Text number 4. ददाति प्रतिगणाति गुह्यम आख्याति प्रयच्छति भुंक्ते भोजते चैव सद्विद्धम प्रीति लक्षणम. So these are the things that will bring people closer, that we should avoid with the general population, general mass who are materialistic people. What? Offering gifts in charity, accepting charitable gifts. So giving them gifts, accepting gifts, this should be reduced. We cannot eliminate them. Sometimes we have to do, but we should reduce it. Okay. If you want to give gifts, we should gift Krishna in the form of Bhagavad Gita. And accept charity, we should tell, if you can give monetary charity, then that's best. Once a devotee, he was celebrating a birthday party of his son. So he was inviting a lot of his friends and all that. And he said, I won't accept any gift. So then what did the guest do? The guest gave him in rupees. And he collected all that rupees and he gave it to cow protection. So devotee should be interesting, you know. Other gifts will be very, they'll be just lying in the home, or we may use it for some other purpose. The most important thing, revealing one's mind in confidence. This is what I think. All these talks, bring people closer. So when we are talking with general people, we should not reveal one's mind. Inquiring confidentially. Confidentially means with trust. Dealing them with sensitive issues. Now sensitive issues doesn't mean tax things. Okay, tax things we have to talk to them. Why? Because they are expert in that. But confidentially means opening our heart and all that, telling our desires and our feelings and all that. That we should not do. Accepting prasad and offering prasad, we should offer prasad to them, but when prasad comes from their side, we should be careful. We should say, oh, give me only milk items, right? Or give me fruits, which we can offer to Krishna and all that. If food comes from their side, then we should say, if we are not able to give up, if we are not able to avoid, then we should say, okay, cook without onion garlic. And when they offer it to us, then we should offer it to Krishna in our mind, and then we can take. Okay.
Okay.
So these are the 6 symptoms between devotees, but in general masses we should avoid them, reduce them, like that. Okay. So remember, nectar of instruction gives a lot of all these instructions. Okay. Now coming back. So okay, 2 more things. Accepting the importance of self-realization, meaning I have to practice spiritual life, therefore I will avoid unnecessary sporting, cinema going, social activities, wastage of time. Instead, I will put time here in IBC Siksha every 4 hours per week, and I will try to gain knowledge in spiritual life. Okay. Philosophical search for the absolute truth. See, there are many so-called philosophical topics and discussion topics that are going on in the world. There is gossip, filmfare, bazaar. That's the biggest gossip, right? TikTok or YouTube shorts, viral videos, WhatsApp. Now, WhatsApp in devotees group is good, but WhatsApp in material group, tell me what kind of messages come.
Good morning, good evening messages.
Well, that is just simple ones. Sometimes some good messages are there, but sometimes some stupid messages are there. Some stupid videos and all that. Sometimes some movie songs and all that all there, and some dance moves are there, right? So that we should avoid. Okay, and we should be philosophically oriented. See, general people are not philosophically oriented, right? They are like very what you say, sensual. So that thing we should avoid, we should reduce. Because of our conditionings, we may be conditioned beforehand, but we should keep reducing and we should become more philosophical. Okay, does it help?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
Prabhuji.
So now we are it's 8:35, so please tell me, so let's open up for some 1 or 2 questions. Anyone has any questions? Any questions, comments? Okay, so we don't have.
Prabhuji, you said you can offer it in the mind. I mean, if like people like outsiders, if they offer something, if it is not cooked with onion garlic, you said you can offer it in mind and to Krishna, and we can honor it. So how do you offer it in the mind, Prabhuji?
So first thing is, accepting somebody's food. It should be only, rare situations. Like sometimes we go to relatives and they may not be devotees, full-fledged devotees, then we cannot avoid also. So they may offer and we may say, now I don't eat onion garlic and all that, so they may cook also. They may give us rice, they may give us a dal which doesn't have onion in it, all that, then we should just, in our mind we should pray to Krishna and say, please accept this thing. These 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 people, they are made for me, and please accept it, Krishna, and chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and then eat the food. That's how we should. Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
Okay.
Prabhuji, tomorrow class will be there.
Oh yeah. Tomorrow class won't be there because of Gaur Purnima. So everyone go to temple to celebrate Gaur Purnima. We will meet next week. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very
okay.
much. Hare Krishna.
Hare